podcast.
I'm golfing, but it's a 12.
We'll cancel it.
We're doing X-Men.
It's later, like...
We'll cancel it.
We're doing X-Men forever.
Welcome to Previously Recorded. I am your host. All right, yes. Welcome back to Previously Recorded. Today we are in the Alkali Lake quadrant. And to me, my PR men, Shane and Bob, welcome back.
Thank
It's like you never left.
It's like, it feels that way.
And I had a dream, and you were there, and you were there, and we were battling stopping Shane from becoming an
And I'm
evil
going to miss
villain.
you the most when I leave here tonight, Bob.
We didn't know it. We didn't know it, Shane. We didn't know it. I love that. Obviously, I don't even know where to go.
RP's brain's breaking, so I'm going to go ahead and take the lead here.
Yeah,
so
please
this
do.
is day 3 of our X-Men Mutant Powers bracket, where we are deciding...
They haven't left my house.
Yeah, this is similar to the Christmas
Day.
episodes where we just really dive in. We decided this time around we weren't gonna half-ass this bracket, so we are really performing. Day 3, we are live here once again. The first 2 days, if you listen to our arguments, that's great. We also have each of these X-Men in action figure form. Mm-hmm. And we sit around on the rug, and we also battle these out individually to make sure that we've made the right choice. So far, so good.
I have enjoyed doing this, but I will say my back is killing me. Like, you know how long it is to sit pretzel style? Like, it hurts. My back hurts so bad. So, we're suffering for you guys. We're suffering. Shane hasn't seen his family in 3 weeks. That has nothing to do with this podcast.
It's just an unfortunate truth.
He's just
we've only been doing this for 2 days.
Yeah, he's just been shopping for toys for so long. He drove all the way to Alkali Lake to see the first matchup of the toys, which was to bring them home. I was just trying to make it that you drove to Alkali Lake to get these toys for the pod, because that's why you haven't seen your family. But I said, I'm just going to bisect all of that tangent. And
bisect all that tangent. You're just throwing geometry words at people now.
I can't talk.
No, you're struggling.
I can't. I did this a couple weeks ago where I couldn't say secular, and I kept saying circular. At work, I was like, it all is just like circular, you know? And I was like, that's not I literally looked at my coworker. I'm pretty sure I told this on the podcast.
Secular, the biggest struggle that I've had over the last 3 days is that I really want chocolate, and you just don't keep it in your house.
We don't. No chocolate.
No chocolate. There's a lot of candy canes everywhere.
Well, it's Christmas Day. These episodes are Christmas Day. These are really good, actually.
No.
These are mint flavored candies.
My mouth stinks.
Yeah, my heightened senses. Because it's smelling this shit for 3 days. So
I forgot a toothbrush.
You should have teleported it away.
How long have we been here? 3 days, 2 days?
It depends on who you're talking about, because in this region of the bracket, we could also be manipulating that reality, and it could be a lot different. So let's look at what's going on here.
I wonder who he's talking
Alkali
about.
Lake.
Are you talking about the blob?
We're talking about... No, Blob's not in this one, unfortunately.
Oh.
Blob is my favorite description of a mutant power. So stay tuned tomorrow.
Why don't you just eat that chocolate before you keep talking?
I tried to power through it. You didn't really let me. I wasn't going to, actively chomp it. I feel like I could have got away with it.
We let that go a long time ago.
I feel
showing on the podcast.
I'm just saying, I feel like I could have got away with it, but you absolutely just called me out. For the one bite I took in.
Yeah, I did.
All right, so anyway, back to Alkali Lake. What matchup do you want to start with here, RP?
That's right.
Shane, what can we look at for you? What's the number that we're looking to see?
Let's start with the number 1.
All right, you better talk because my mouth is full.
All right, you go up top there. Get ready for
it's
this lengthy argument you're going to give us.
All right, yeah, so the number 1 seed in the Alkali Lake region, by no surprise, is Wolverine's healing factor. Mm-hmm. Not the adamantium. So Wolverine Sabretooth,
Okay.
same concept. Here, I just use Wolverine as the example. So it's not the claws, because that's an aftermarket upgrade that he got.
Yes.
And he is going to face, or that mutant power is going to face off against what is the 32 of the tournament, the worst mutant power that we could find, which is Ugly John is the character. His name's actually Steve. His ability is just that he has multiple ugly faces. So hear me out, boys. Yes, it'd be cool to be able to heal, but as we've seen in some of the films, you see all of your loved ones die, and you can't do that. And I've lived most of my life being ugly already, so I feel like of those two things,
You're beautiful, man. Why do you think?
but not
why do you think we went through what we went through?
not multiple times beautiful. Maybe one of my faces is beautiful.
I
The
think
other
you
two
could
are
argue
ugly.
anybody's face 3 times is ugly, like mushed together.
No, but he specifically has 3 ugly,
Yeah, like they're
ugly
listed
faces.
as ugly.
Are they the
faces.
same face? Or
They are.
Yes.
It's just that
It's a real ugly face 3 times.
It's not even that ugly. We looked at the picture early, and then it's not like a.
If my thing is, if Benny Blanco can find love, why not Ugly John?
Yeah, but Benny Blanco's a millionaire who has like multiple Grammys.
If I had
Say-
3 ugly faces, I'm pretty sure I could parlay that into at least a pretty successful YouTube channel.
I had many Grammys for a while too, and then they both died.
I knew where it was going, and it didn't matter. Delivery spot on.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. I mean, let's just face it. This is the first upset of the tournament, folks. Multiple ugly faces is going.
Whoa! No, I got.
I thought we were talking about how hard it is to see your loved ones die.
There it is. Yeah, what?
Well, he's already lived that.
I have, and I would still rather live forever than have my Grammy back. I'm just kidding. I can't even have that on this podcast. I can't. I love my grandmothers.
Oh man.
Yeah, I guess Ugly John. That's fine. I just. I will say, just for the record, that has always been like Wolverine's powers, the duo of the adamantium and the healing factor, have always been my favorite in X-Men. Kind of, you said teleporting's always been your favorite. Like that's always been the powers that I wanted, those two together. So I think healing factor, but I think Bob did make there's a ton of bad effects to the healing factor because
they'll
Wolverine,
come in, but against Ugly John.
against Ugly John,
Yeah, sorry, bro.
you made your arguments for them.
Yeah,
and
I said I would
did
give.
like it.
Before we went on the air, I said I'm going to give you at least a minute of why Ugly John is the right argument.
Yeah,
I did not expect RP's Grammys to get involved in that argument.
love
but
him, misses.
They came in, and then, but at the end of the day, this is a no-brainer.
Yeah, I will just say for the record, I would rather die than watch my loved ones die. But healing factor is cooler than having an ugly face.
And also, like the
Like,
idea,
you want to walk through your life every day with an ugly face?
with one, fine. With
Yeah.
3,
Yeah. I go through every day. I got to wake up and be me already. You're going to make it worse.
This region is, in my opinion, the strongest and weakest at the same time. So it's kind of like very funny to me. So like Ugly John, wild.
Yeah.
The Westchester had like a lot of like cool abilities. This one has 3 people who, in my opinion, could all win this thing outright.
Ugly John, Translucence,
And Bailey Hoskins.
yeah, Hoskins.
Or Hopkins. I forget exactly. I can't read it. It's the
Hoskins.
Is it Hoskins? All right.
We don't talk
That's
about
only 'cause
Hoskins
Blob
and
isn't
stuff.
in
I had to look up his name. I knew the guy. Blob's up higher, but yeah. Bob Herman is great.
Blob's got potential.
So I say healing factor for sure. Shane, do you agree healing factor?
Obviously, it's healing factor over having 3 faces in place of my 1 face.
Okay, how can you turn that into a villain thing?
If he was
If
real
you were
ugly all the time.
No, the healing factor.
If I was
shooting
Ugly
the
John,
cactus?
I would be a villain. You'd catch your ass.
Yeah, that's true. That's
He's
true.
mad.
What do I have to live for?
I'm glad I called that guy.
All right, let's look at the landslides first, and then we're
Yeah.
going to come to the only first round real matchup we have here. So we're going to jump to the 6-3 matchup in this section, which the 3, which is actually wild to me, but this is just kind of how I dropped it in. Reality Manipulation, Scarlet Witch. Could get rid of all these mutants in a blink of an eye.
Which she's done.
Yeah.
Exactly.
she has.
No more mutants. Versus Glob Herman, who he believe first.
Are you
came
sure
around.
it's glob and not like globe, like Job and Job?
Yeah, I could be pronouncing it wrong. I've only ever read it. But I believe he came around in like the X-Men Gold, X-Men Blue, X-Men Red time frame.
Okay.
Where Kitty Pryde is running the X-Men, and so she's like training young X-Men, and his ability is that he can just make his skin see through.
So
You
dumb.
heard that correctly.
That's completely-
Yes, he can.
What are they training him to do?
can-
Be in a fucking haunted house?
Well, so the thing, yeah, so like he has translucence, but that's the ability. Is
Wait, is
translucence.
his skin just
It's-
translucent?
but
So you can still
but
see
his
inners?
organs and his bones don't go
Right?
invisible.
Are you serious?
Yes. No, I'm dead serious.
What the fuck is the point of this?
It's
No more time. No reality manipulation. No. That's
He should
I
be
made,
the 32. That's
I
dumb.
made that as a fucking joke. I didn't think that was actually serious.
Oh no! I mean that's just as bad as Ugly John because at least he can live a normal life when he doesn't go translucent. So that's why he's not in 32.
Why is he at the mansion? What?
Because he's a mutant and that's a safe haven.
Who cares?
Because his parents went, "We're not mad you're a mutant. We're mad that that's your power. Get out of my house."
Of all the things you could be,
Just don't ever use your power. Like I don't. That's dumb.
he's just still a mutant.
Imagine
There's
kicking your kid out of your house because you
He's
have a
actually,
lame
like-
power.
a viable member of the team at one point. Like he like does things to help, but I just don't really recall what any of them are.
Yeah, fuck that.
In what scenario do they need to see his ribcage to beat the bad guy?
Well, this is
Usually
where
it's,
I
like,
mean,
blah, like,
maybe
like
if,
fat on top.
maybe if he was like he would be like
So
basically
have you guys never seen him before?
he's
No.
basically the equivalent of a like anatomy class dummy. Like you can just take him in and be like, "This is what a beating heart looks
Yeah,
like."
this is Glob Herman.
What is the point?
That's
of that?
terrifying, but that's dumb.
I mean, I would probably.
So I
would,
think he
this
eventually
is like
gets very strong.
this is the problem with the X-Men because this is like, especially the newer X-Men, where they come up with these crazy whack ass characters that and like so this is great for comic reading, but like.
Yeah, it doesn't work. It doesn't
Yeah.
give you anything.
Yeah, like this is why people love the X-Men because you have ridiculous characters like this.
Yeah, it's just nonsense.
So yeah, no reality manipulation without.
Yeah, and this is what this is where the idea.
That is the equivalent of a 60 to 10 game and a half.
Yes, and this is like the equivalent. This is the situation where I got the 32. RP kind of threw them into sections, just like randomized it for me to make it easier. And this section just
Did I do this?
was a little out of but you didn't know what some of these guys' powers were.
That's true.
Like you didn't know that translucence was just his skin.
No, yeah.
So that's the way it works out. And the
I
last,
also like don't know what other way I would have went.
and
Other
yeah,
than
it
bad-
wasn't bad.
other
This
than-
is this one. It's just the first round in this region.
yeah.
Is blowouts, but then it gets tight.
Yeah.
The last blowout here is a telepath. Professor X is our comparison versus Bailey Hoskins, whose ability is that he can blow himself up one time.
Which imagine the pressure of like I can only do this once and using it at the wrong.
But we've
moment.
also said I think we said on the air.
He's a terrorist.
Anybody can do that.
It's
Like,
true.
I also, with the help of dynamite, can blow myself up once.
Or just eat Taco Bell. Yeah, for all these reasons, just imagine living like, okay, this is my power. When do I use this? It's like, well, you're killing yourself if you do it.
Yeah.
And it's like, what if you use it at the wrong time? Like, what is an appropriate time? Actually, we might end up on the CIA's watch list if I go
Would you
through
be
with this.
tempted-
If I go
yeah.
through with this questioning,
Don't Google when should I blow myself up.
Would you be tempted to show it off? Like you get a little drunk and you're like, you guys want to see?
like
You
just
guys-
blow your finger.
No, guys, I'm a mutant.
All right,
Like,
Shane,
prove
go
your
back
point.
to bed, Bailey
But also,
Hoskins.
how does he know that that's his power?
That's a good question.
Charles probably told him.
He's not one that.
But how does he find? I guess
familiar
Charles
with.
finds him and says, "Hey, you're a mutant."
Yeah. Probably like your entire body is combustible at any moment. That's probably what it is. Because Charles can do and say whatever he wants. Professor X, especially in the comics, is an asshole. People that gets overlooked a lot. But one of the coolest X-Men of all time. One of the coolest mutants of all time. And I love his morality, especially in the movies, of what he can and can't do and what he chooses not to do.
I actually recently found out Magneto wearing the helmet so he can't get inside his head.
Yep.
Wasn't always a thing.
Oh, really?
He just wore the helmet because it's cool.
Yeah.
It's it's his morality. He's just like, yeah, I could just control him, but I don't want to mind control him.
Yeah, and then
I think
Charles.
I think it was the movies where they started.
It definitely was in the first movie, and Charles probably Charles can't get through the helmet.
Yeah.
So the background for Bailey Hoskins, if you want to just hear something tragic. Long story, he's a kid. He gets recruited, but he's not an X-Men. Like, he's not part of the actual group. So he's just like a loser, and he just wants to do anything. And then even like the mutant community, he's a loser. So when he finally kisses a girl, I'm getting this off of Reddit. I don't know this story. I'm just finding this out now. It turns out it was Mystique, disguising herself, and then she uses that to blackmail him to get him to use his ability to kill Professor X.
Oh shit!
And he won't do it because he loves him too much. So then somebody else kills Professor X, and that guy becomes like viewed as a hero by some mutants because he like started this mutant revolution. And Bailey Hoskins is considered even more of a loser because he like couldn't even do that. And so then he uses his power to kill himself and the guy who killed Professor X.
Good for Bailey Hoskins.
Yeah, so he's a hero. And because he loved Professor X so much,
Professor X wins.
there's no reason to even talk about it.
Yeah,
Professor
exactly.
X moves
He
on to the
wouldn't
next
even
one.
pick himself.
What was Mystique going to blackmail him with? The fact that he kissed a hot blue
Right.
babe? The
Yeah.
fact that she kissed an underage kid? That's what she's going to blackmail him with?
Look, man, I'm going off of a quick
What's your plan here?
quick Reddit research page. I don't know what she's blackmailing. I wish she'd fucking blackmail me. I know that much. If this is how she blackmails people, I wish she'd blackmail me.
Spoiler alert. Imagine this happens to you and Mystique's your mom. And she like just felt bad for you that she like became this hot girl just for you to finally like, I don't know, self-confidence, and it turns out it was just Mystique.
Imagine this happens to you and you're Ugly John. Now you got 3 faces. You got 3
That are beat
faces
red.
for her to kiss.
That are beat red too.
You know
Imagine
what?
that.
Change that. Put Ugly John there.
Mystique's in another bracket.
We'll
about
talk
that
Mystique.
when we get there. Yeah.
I'm just saying, it's like, would you, like when you, would
You're
you
asking
fuck,
me to imagine.
would you fuck your cousin,
if it
save
was
your
Mystique.
family over a jar of pickles?
Yeah, would you steal the pickles?
No, it's not like, would you rather bang your cousin and nobody know, or like not bang your cousin but everybody thinks you bang your cousin? It turns out your cousin's Mystique.
Your cousin was Mystique, and it was all over pickles.
Yeah, it was all over pickles. I love a multi-day runner. That's my favorite. But yeah, let's move on to our final third Friday night, or we'll just make this Saturday night game.
Honestly, this one's probably a fucking blowout too. So we have the ability to grow and control your bones, which in this situation, like the character Mara, like the bones are like on the outside, so it's almost like a defensive shell type thing.
So it's not a Wolverine.
Not necessarily.
When you said this guy first, I said it's like that guy in The Last Stand where he was like growing them and like throwing them at
I think that
Wolverine.
guy's kind of similar.
So he's like creating knives with himself essentially.
Yeah, Mara
with his bones.
creates like defense with this. So or multiplier man, which is just the ability to duplicate your body, multiple versions of yourself.
I would go with duplication. I think the ability to be in 2 places at once is,
And
also clean. Like talk about being lazy and like
I was thinking about
just gonna
cleaning
say
and
that.
shit
cleaning
like
and
that.
shit.
Am
yeah.
I like a hive mind where I'm controlling all of these other duplicates?
Yes.
So
Yeah, you have.
this is the
control.
same as telekinesis. I can just make another me and say, "Yo, jackass,
There's
go
just
get
a
that thing
bunch.
for me."
This one's just more noticeable than
This-
telekinesis. I think.
Yeah,
This would be awesome because like I don't want to go into the office. I'll send my
yeah.
I'll
Send
send
that loser.
RP2 in.
Send that loser.
Yeah, and nobody
So
else.
I don't know how that works. Like I don't know.
Do I have to
'cause,
be in
like,
proximity?
but like if you'd have to still like be.
That's fine. I just say
You just don't want to go.
I just don't want to go.
Oh, okay.
I'll sit at my desk and type all day, but my body, whether if I'm typing as the body or whatever, as the duplicate RP2 or RP3, like
Oh, so basically you're sending him on the journey to the
Yeah.
office, but you don't actually have to go.
and
to
like
the
when my
office.
wife's nagging me for sex, I'm like I'll just. That's when I send Bob in there. RP3, sorry.
Yeah, and you can make 3 of yourself to finally satisfy her.
It's multiple man, by the way, too.
Yeah, it's multiple.
I don't
man,
know
yeah.
why I have multiplier man on there.
Maybe it's cooler
Yeah, so JB Madrix is a pretty. So I'm just trying to see how it works, as far as what he needs to know, like what he needs to provide.
then. I think it just all runs through.
Regardless, it's cooler than growing bones.
Yeah, I mean Wolverine is the exception, but yeah, I would go duplication because that
Yeah.
I think that's very useful. Going to be very, very useful.
Well, Wolverine, I feel like his bone, it's not bones, it's just those claws.
Well, it's bone.
But I'm saying he's not growing them, he can just extend them. And then if they break, it'll heal.
Yeah, they regrow.
Because it's part of him. Like, that is, like, his body.
Yeah, because they break in Origins.
Yeah, he's just extending and retracting.
And then, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just that.
So, multiplier, man. Multiple man. Well, duplication.
Duplication. All right, so then this is where this round gets legitimate because everything else was kind of a toss-up, and it still somehow took us 22 minutes to get through that. So we'll go with the top seed. So it's a healing factor of Wolverine versus duplication of multiple man.
So a huge fear of mine is just like sickness and anything like that. So like whether it's tuberculosis and I'm in the 1920s, or
A little polio for the boy.
For example, COVID healing factor cures all that, right?
I mean, it's not going to kill you because you'll
But the cells that it destroys, the body just
that's what I mean.
rebuilds.
You'll still get sick. It'll still affect you.
Yeah, but like
Wolverine gets shot. He doesn't feel good, but
yeah, exactly.
It's not killing him.
Yeah, he still feels all of the pain.
The only way Wolverine dies is just nuclear degeneration.
You
chopped his head off.
You can drown him, but then you got to keep him drowned.
I think
too.
that's I'm saying when they killed Wolverine, that's how they did it, though.
Yeah, you got to get rid of every single part of his body.
I'm looking at when I said the only way Wolverine dies is like when they killed Wolverine. Mm-hmm. Like the only way that he has died.
He died from lead poisoning.
This way,
or the adamantium poisoning in Logan.
Well, that's like killing him slowly, right?
Yeah.
So then, like death of Wolverine.
There's like multiple ways that they do it, but like you toss him in the bottom. You toss him in the bottom of the lake.
As long as he stays down there, yeah.
Yeah, like you put chains in him.
His body's adamantium. He's gonna sink.
Yeah.
So the death scene for Wolverine is this like basically like nuclear blast
that melts the adamantium.
It melts his skin, and then the adamantium like melts together.
That's spoiler alert, by the way, but
well, it came out fucking a long time ago, folks.
That's pretty cool, though. I actually
could have read it yourselves by now.
Could have, but for that reason, I think because this is a body without adamantium, I'm going healing factor. I know the living forever thing is tough.
See, that's why I don't want to go healing factor because, yeah, the healing is nice, but it's only for me. If I had to outlive every single person I know, that sounds terrible.
It does sound awful.
So just for that reason, I'm not giving my vote to healing factor. It's not like I'm voting for duplication. I'm voting against healing factor.
Yeah, I guess that's true. I'm going healing factor.
That's not even how he dies. He just gets covered in molten adamantium.
Which
for whatever reason, I thought something melted him to get to that. Man, and I read it, so I stink too.
Well, read comics, it all blends together at some points. So you got to split the difference, Bob. You got to make the decision.
I'm going healing factor.
Okay.
I just think that there's multiple man, like I said. So if we're going everyday situation, I'm fine, right? Healing factor is going to help me on an everyday situation. The abilities that multiple man is going to give me, if I'm using them, are noticeable. So now I'm a freak again.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
There's four of me running around. Yeah.
Avoiding being a freak.
I just don't want to be a freak. That's my fear.
All right, you're not a freak.
But when do you need four of you running around? Can't you just be chilling at your house and make a duplicate and send them out and do your errands you don't want to do?
Yeah, but like if I'm doing something and I'm like,
but don't you? I feel like Bob enjoys his errands. Do you enjoy?
I do. I'm an errand guy. I like to be busy.
Yeah. All that time in
it's hard to be busy if I'm sick or dying or break my leg.
Very true.
Plus, if I have a healing factor, I can do dumb shit.
Yeah, you could. You could do Jackass.
Yeah.
This is always
YouTube channel.
Yeah, you would have. You're really about this YouTube channel.
I really think I got a chance here.
You could start one.
What was that laugh?
I don't know. He's like looking up porn over there or something.
So I split the difference, right?
He's adding fucking comics to his reading.
I want to read the Death of Wolverine. I was looking it up.
That's good. You know how it ends, but it doesn't matter. That's where X-20...
Oh, I know how it ends. It's called The Death of Wolverine.
It's
Obviously, he's going to fucking die.
X-22's in that.
I remember when it came out. OG comic boy.
Spoiler alert. Wolverine comes back.
Oh, really?
It always does.
They always do.
Everybody that's ever died in a comic?
All right, so real talk here. We have Telepath Professor X versus reality manipulation and Scarlet Witch. I'm going reality manipulation. I think that shit is fucking wild. She literally can change anything. Anything. She literally does away with mutants. Which is also terrifying. It's terrifying to just do away with an entire population, people, anything at the whim. I don't know what exactly I would use that for good for.
It's
a
more
new villain to the table.
It's
Yeah.
more. No, it's more just you're being selfish. You're making your life the way you want it
Like
to be.
she
Exactly.
makes her children,
Yeah.
but also her powers in itself. Her magic beams and shit are awesome. But I don't. This power is incredible. Reality manipulation's incredible. And it's all with self-control and what I would use. And you can make it out to be, it's kind of like making your own luck, like your own probability manipulation. You can shape the world however you see fit. And there's a lot of injustice in the world, and you can get rid of all that. Whereas Charles can just, tell you what to do. And so basically, really, it is the ability kind of to control people. This is really what this is.
He's kind of problematic.
I was going to say
Professor
the same
X.
thing. So we're all on the same page with the idea of being a telepath is like intrusive.
Yes.
Like you are going into someone's
When am I going to
thoughts.
use it other than being a little creep?
There is never
But-
even.
So like reality manipulation, same thing where you're like it's kind of just you being selfish. So the issue is it better to be selfish or be a little creep?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'd rather just be a little selfish.
Yeah, because there's never an opportunity it's even for good using your even except for the worst of the worst crumbs. They have no rights in my mind. You know what I mean? Like people who commit heinous crimes. But there's never an instance where telepath, even if it's intrusive for good, is moral. It's never moral.
Like Charles, he's like, and I feel like the only reason he gets away with it is because of all the good he does, right?
Mm-hmm.
So like it makes sense, and then everybody trusts him. So like there is a point where like if there's like a young mutant and he's scared and Charles is like in his head to like calm him down, yes, that's good. Like I'm fine with that.
Or he
but like
uses it to find other
in a
mutants.
normal reality like this right now, if I'm in someone else's head,
It's terrifying.
I'm a freak, and it's just like.
And we already have all these other influences that get inside people's heads to begin with. And the anxieties of our generation are already fucking insane, where we all have like a million of our own voices, echoing in our heads, where, sometimes maybe if I am being a little selfish, and the reality manipulation doesn't just benefit you, you see your friend having a tough time.
I'm actually not going the villain route with this. I would help other people with it.
With reality manipulation.
That's what all the villains say.
The only time I see telepath being beneficial and not me just being a fucking weirdo is in a fight.
Yeah.
Or like you're fighting somebody. Oh no, we're not. Now you're sleeping because I made you sleep.
Or if you're like trying to find someone, you're like, Charles uses,
Yeah.
like if somebody's lost, like, there is good that can be done with that. I guess Wanda could even bring people back from the dead, which is terrifying as well.
She can just manipulate reality that you're not missing anymore.
That's true. But both of these are, you're looking at intrusive and creepy, and then also reality bending. Like truly, like it's pretty wild. Her power.
I think going forward it's going to be hard to beat reality manipulation.
I see the same thing as well.
I'm looking at what we have left. I don't think anything is going to really do it.
I'm curious as that as well.
We have a whole region we haven't seen.
And
Is she?
the Scarlet Witch powers of reality manipulation?
How does
Moving on.
How does Wanda scale against like Franklin Richards? Because I know he's.
Franklin Richards, I kept off of this. He's Omega level.
So he's like, she's not Omega level.
He is, but like he's just a kind of like.
No, I mean, Wanda's not. Is what I'm asking.
I don't.
She has to be. I'm not saying like.
Because I know Franklin is like limitless. He can just do whatever the hell he wants. But I don't know what the limit of Wanda
So like
is.
it's all right. So Wanda ceased to be a mutant after a while, in like Earth 616. She's not
Yeah, well, that was
considered. So like, yeah,
well, that
so
was
like,
because
but
of
that I
rights.
think the Omega level stuff happened like after the fact, where they started to like label people as Omega level.
She's not a mutant just because of film rights.
But like, yeah, so she's class 5 though. She is Omega
She's
level.
got. I mean, she.
But so Franklin's powers is like he can create matter, I believe.
Yeah.
So here's his abilities: reality warping, matter and energy manipulation, energy projection, psionic abilities such as telekinesis, telepathy, astral projection, and precognition, teleportation, immortality, pocket universe creation. He's like the most powerful mutant imaginable because he's everything together.
And that's why he's left off this bracket.
And that's why he's not.
So we move into our final match of this Alkali Lake bracket. Or I keep doing that. Alkali Break
Region. They're regions.
Regions.
Yeah.
Quadrant
Quadrant's fine. Yeah.
of healing factor versus reality manipulation. We just made possibly one of the stronger arguments for reality manipulation. However, healing factor,
I think healing factor in my head is still...
I can use it. See the more practical uses for
Yes.
my healing factor over reality manipulation.
And I'm not impacting others as much.
However,
Manipulate your reality. Now you don't have the injury, and I can fix your injuries.
but is that
for
just
you too.
like
It's whatever
But
you want.
what I'm saying, the reality manipulation now, that becomes a moral issue. Where like I'm impacting
Like,
other
who do-
people with my manipulation. Like
who
the
do I
entire
fix and who
idea
do I
of
don't?
WandaVision is like she's forcing those people to build that like town.
Yes, yes.
So like whereas the healing factor is just very me personal. I'm just not.
But
gonna
also
get
you
hurt.
could use the
But now I'm
reality.
gonna live forever.
But you could use the reality manipulation for good and not forcing. You're not bending anybody to your will. But it's also that morality of it, absolutely, where it's like even if you are doing it for good, you're still forcing. That's always the thing with a lot of well-written superhero stories are, that involve this type of power is like you're bending people to your will. And it's a good caveat. Like that's the only caveats we have for these powers right now is like how they use them and how they'll, what's the negative to the. I just think reality manipulation is so fucking cool. And I would definitely love to have that on a day-to-day basis. For a variety of reasons. Anything you don't like, it's turned out your way. I think there's just as long as you have self-control, and that's how I'm arguing that I have the self-control to use it when necessary.
Right now.
Yeah, it's true right now. Power corrupts. I don't know. I don't know. Because it's strictly just reality manipulation. I mean, that can mean I could change my reality to now give myself powers. I could also have that healing factor now. I could change my
wild
cells.
Scenario. This was the funny episode until it wasn't anymore.
Yeah, it got deep.
Yeah. If I give you a wild scenario, so like, I don't know, I'm trying to think of somebody. I'll just use,
Let's say George
I
Bush.
die. What are you going to do with your reality manipulation? Are you going to bring me back to life? Or are you going to let the natural circumstances continue?
As much as I would want you back and everybody in our lives would want you back, death in everything that you read, in everything that movies you see, everything like that. It's like the Back to the Future is now everybody's time paradox for like everything. Like you can't see yourself, blah blah blah. If you're dead, you shouldn't come back to life.
Because that's what takes Scarlet Witch off the rail, right? Is
Yeah.
her children and everything that happens.
She
there.
brings them back.
You don't have children.
I would say-
like, if it gets to that point, right?
I can't sit here and tell you,
Exactly.
Bob,
And
if
then
you
like,
died.
but it's sitting in your pocket. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like right now, you can say it. So,
and
like,
then whoever knows that you have
and
the
it's,
power.
It's the temptation that
and-
I don't know that I want on
and-
an everyday basis. Whereas healing factor, I know that I'm not going to get hurt.
But like, if knowing that everybody knows that I have this power and I don't bring you back, then am I the asshole? But then like, it would have to be sudden because if you're like sick, then I would just heal you.
Yeah.
You too, Shane.
What if it's a real comical way that you die? I think I got to leave it because then it's not funny if I
That's
bring
what
you
I've
back.
always wanted, and you know that. So now you're just a
Yeah.
good friend.
Like if you said,
like
hey,
you slip on a banana peel and fall down a bunch of steps, I'm leaving it.
No, or if you say, hey,
Document that shit.
I have acoustic kinesis and I can jump out this window. and
That's
you
what
don't.
I did it.
He does it too hard and just snaps his own
Yeah,
neck.
yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, I think that the morality aspect of things comes into play here.
I think I'm trusting myself to make the right call.
And Shane, I feel like, is also reality manipulation.
I feel like everything you can do with the healing factor, reality manipulation, I can also do for me and for everybody else.
So I'm outnumbered regardless. Mm-hmm. But
I'd like your
after
argument,
the argument that you guys just made for reality manipulation, just didn't seem fair to let it storm over a healing factor without a little bit of a fight.
Absolutely. So reality manipulation has made its way, maybe manipulated its way to the final four, and that wraps up the Alkali Lake section.
That'll work.
Bracket.
Not bracket.
Not
the whole thing's the bracket.
Bracket. Quadrant. What did you call it?
Region.
Region.
It's
God
like the
damn
Midwest
it.
region.
I
and the
know
South
that. I
region.
do these fucking things. I know sports. It's been 4 days of recorded straight. Gets to you. But reality manipulation made its way from the bottom. Now it's here. Okay. Just for
cut that.
yeah. No. Leave that.
Forever.
But thank you for listening, and we'll be back tomorrow with the final region, the the Krakoa region. The Krakoa region. Thank you for listening. See you tomorrow. And then the normal plug as always. Remember to rate, like, subscribe. Check out our Redbubble and TeePublic store for all of our merch. We'll have an X-Men themed, some sort of theme up there. Buy your crap. Leave us a rating. Everybody say goodbye.
Bye.
Yeah,
Love you.